Sanford, apartheid Florida, apartheid Sanford, Florida, we have both individual and institutional racism occurring at the same time. We have Zimmerman killing Trayvon because he was a black boy that was in the wrong Klan neighborhood at the wrong time. Then we have institutional racism that is protecting that individual act of racism by not arresting him and not charging him with a crime. And then when they went to court saying that racism is not to be allowed in this case because there was no evidence of racism. So we have an individual act of racism, a white man killing a black boy only because he's black, and then we have a court system that decided that this racist act is not a racist act, and that you are ordered and shall not consider race as an issue in this case, when in fact there is all types of evidence of race in this case. All you got to do is use your common sense. We got to remember that the same people that control the law enforcement agency down there in Sanford, Florida, are the same group or racial group of people that control the judicial system. There's no difference. They're both racist. Who's that went behind me just then? One of them people down from Sanford, Florida? They're trying to stick up on me. They're trying to stick up on me, y'all. Those people down there in Sanford, Florida are all the same. The law enforcement agency and the judicial system. It's ran by the same people, the same race of people. As you can see, everybody in court is white. The judge, the DA, the prosecutor, the defense attorneys, everybody white. The jury white. They got all white jury. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. I can't believe it. In a case like this, they got an all-white jury. Now, I want to know why the defense didn't go out and hire a black lawyer. At least one black lawyer, just to show. It's such a racial case, and everybody knows about race. Why didn't they go out and hire one black lawyer? Now, if it was a black man that was charged with killing a white man, the black man would have went out before he could blink his eye and hired him a white lawyer. That just goes to show you that these white people don't care about you Negroes. They don't care about you. They don't respect you, black lawyers. They will not hire you even if common sense tells them that would be the best and most prudent thing to do in a situation like this, is to have a black lawyer. But you Negroes will go out there and hire a white lawyer. Matter of fact, they do that even in a black jurisdiction where everybody's black. You know, they were not going to arrest Zimmerman. They were not going to charge him with a crime. And they were not going to try Zimmerman until the television stations came down there and made this thing a national issue. Now they are forced to try Zimmerman. Now you can force the prosecutor to try Zimmerman, but you cannot force the prosecutor to win. You can take a horse to the trough, but you can't make him drink. You ever seen a coach tell a player to run some sprints and run them full speed? You can make it run, but you can't make it run full speed. You can force the prosecutor to try the case, but you can't force the prosecutor to win the case or want to win the case. This is a strong case. You ever heard of a fight that was strong? Two fighters come into the ring. They both work out hard for 3 months. Go on television to make all types of promotional commentaries, and they come to the fight, put on their gloves, get in the ring, the guy rings the bell, and one fighter comes out of the corner running with eyes wide open, hands up, swinging lefts and rights, and the other fighter comes out of the corner with both hands down and head down. He walks out in the middle of the ring, and the other fighter, of course, just knocks him out. You can force him to come to the fight, but you can't force him to fight. You can force this prosecutor to try this case, but you can't force the prosecutor to want to win this case. You can't force the prosecutor to win or try to win. Why do I say you cannot force the prosecutor to win this case? Why do I say the defense and the prosecution on the same side? Why do I think that the prosecution does not want to win this case? Well, let's look at one thing here. The most important issue in this case is who was screaming. Was it Zimmerman or was it Trayvon? If you can prove that Zimmerman was screaming, then Zimmerman can prove, or you can infer from that evidence that Zimmerman was being attacked, and what he did was in self-defense. And, you know, that's going to be pretty much secure his self-defense argument. If you can prove, if Zimmerman can prove that it was in fact him that was screaming, then he can prove that he was being attacked, and whatever he did was in self-defense. If you can prove, however, that Trayvon was screaming, then that evidence would show that Zimmerman was not being attacked, but was getting the best of Trayvon, and his self-defense argument would go down the drain. That's an important issue. That issue, if Zimmerman was to be able to prove that issue with the evidence, his case is pretty much wrapped up. His self-defense argument is going to be successful. Now we must remember that the state has the burden of proof. The defense can sit over at the table and don't produce any evidence at all. They don't have to say anything. They don't have to produce any evidence, because the burden of proof never shifts to the defense. The state has the burden of proof, to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that it was in fact Zimmerman that was not screaming. The state has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that it was Trayvon that was screaming. I'm going to say that again. The burden of proof is on the state, not the defense. It is the state's responsibility to provide evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that the voice on the 911 tape was Trayvon, not Zimmerman. It is the state's responsibility. It is the legal obligation of the state, not the defendant, but the state, to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the voice on the 911 tape was Trayvon. Now, let's see what happened regarding this important issue. How did the state treat this most important issue? Now, the evidence that the state came to court with to prove this most important issue in this case was just the mama and the brother. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. An issue this important, that's going to be the pivotal evidence in this case, the state only produced the mom and the brother. And of course, the jury going to look at the mom and the brother as being biased because that's their relative. But they didn't produce any other evidence other than the mom and the brother. They didn't even produce the daddy. Let me ask you this. Where are the cousins? Where are the relatives, the uncles, the aunts? Where are his friends? He played on the football team. Where is his coach? Where is his preacher? Where are all the other people in the community that would be of high character that could testify that the voice on the 911 tape was Trayvon? There are many people that would have came and testified that the voice on the 911 tape is Trayvon. Now, if you look at the trial, you will see that the defense came up with a lot of witnesses to prove this important issue. Where are all of the people that the state could have brought in to identify the voice on the 911 tape as Trayvon. She didn't bring anybody. Well, he didn't bring anybody. He just brought the mom and the brother. Like I said before, you can make them try this case, but you can't make them win it. You can make them try this case, but they're not going to try to win this case. Why? Because it's institutional racism. You cannot legislate morality. You cannot pass laws to force people to behave in a certain manner. You cannot pass laws to force people to behave morally. You cannot legislate morality. You cannot force this DA to win this case or try to win this case. They can go through the motions to satisfy the public and give you a deception of justice, but that's exactly what is happening. They're just going through the motions. They're doing a pretty good job at it too, but they're just going through the motions. They're not trying to win. Who will come to court with two witnesses? Biased witnesses. They're not biased, but nature shows that by nature, the mother and the brother are going to be biased. And that's all you're going to present in this case is the mother and the brother when there's available several other witnesses. Now let's look at what the defense did in regards to witnesses concerning this important issue. Remember, the burden of proof is not on the defense. The burden of proof is on the state. But what did the defense do? The defense had several witnesses in this case regarding the issue of who was on the 911 tape. The defense brought the dad. Can you believe that? The defense brought as their witness the father of Trayvon. That should have been the witness for the state. But the state didn't even bring the witness, the dad, as a witness. Now some people say that the dad said that was not Trayvon's voice, but the dad could have stated on the witness stand for the defense that the police was lying, that he said he did not know if that was his son's voice when he first heard the tape. And that fact could have easily been cleared up by the state, calling him as a witness and having him say that it was Trayvon's voice. The state should have called the dad. However, look at what happened. It was the defense that called the dad as a witness for the first time. Isn't that something? The dad. Now, who else did the defense call? They not only called the dad, which they also called an expert witness in the form of a ex-military Vietnam veteran who testified in this case. That was an excellent witness. That ex-Vietnam veteran, he looks like everybody's daddy and everybody's granddaddy. He had a great personality. He was a smiling and laughing and charming man. He's going to make a lot of money in the future from being an expert witness in a lot of cases in Florida, I bet, because he's the type of witness that every lawyer would love to have testify in their case, because the man seems to be genuine. He seems to be a very kind-hearted person, humble, very humble person, and a very believable person. So I think that once that man testified, that Vietnam vet testified, that was the end of the case of the state. They might as well just tell everybody to leave the courtroom and end the case and have the jury go on out, because after that Vietnam veteran testified, the case basically is over, because he's very believable, and he testified that the voice on the 911 tape was definitely Zimmerman. He testified. They went out and got a witness not only that could identify the voice, but also had some hell of credentials behind his name. He was a Vietnam veteran. Everybody loves Vietnam veterans. Everybody loves a war hero. And this guy, he gave